a very fruitful day with a variety of engagements with my counterpart, the Honorable Minister of France for International Trade, with several business leaders from top French companies with large investment plans in India, and also co-chaired with the French minister. A very, very fruitful, engaging and outcome-oriented business summit that CII had organized in Paris today. The attendance was very encouraging. All the top companies from France were present. We have also had an engagement where CEOs of about 40 top companies met with both the ministers, exchanged views and ideas around trade, tourism, technology, and investment. Later in the evening today, we have a very interesting gala dinner where I am told they had to close the registrations given the huge interest that the business community of France expressed in terms of registrations for the event. All in all, a very fruitful, very outcome-oriented and very well-crafted, productive engagement with France. I do see tremendous potential to grow this relationship, to expand in terms of greater degree of investments into India, some very important technological products being brought to India, and we are very ambitious in terms of our plans to grow our exports into France. Thank you. शुरुआत में आज बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिन रहा जब फ्रांस और भारत के बीच अलग अलग बैठकें हुई। उनके माननीय मंत्री के साथ मेरी विस्तार से चर्चा हुई, फ्रांस के मंत्री के साथ, कैसे भारत और फ्रांस के बीच में आर्थिक संबंध बढ़ाने के लिए हम दोनों प्रतिबद्ध हैं। दोनों देशों के बीच व्यापार बढ़े, निवेश बढ़े, पर्यटन बढ़े और आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजीज भारत में हम ला सकें, इसके लिए विस्तार से मंत्री स्तर पर चर्चा हुई। अलग अलग जो यहाँ के प्रमुख बड़ी कंपनियां हैं, उनके मालिकों के या उनके मैनेजमेंट के साथ चर्चा हुई। एक पूरे दिन भर का बिजनेस, भारत के भी और फ्रांस के भी बिजनेसेस का एक बैठक हुई, जिसमें अलग अलग विषयों के ऊपर प्रेजेंटेशंस और चर्चा के माध्यम से हमने फ्रांस की कंपनीज को भारत की तरफ आकर्षित किया और एक टॉप कंपनीज के सीईओज के साथ फ्रांस के मंत्री और मेरी राउंड टेबल में उनके क्या आगे भविष्य में योजनाएं हैं, क्या निवेश करने में वो रुचि रखते हैं, किन विषयों में वो भारत से व्यापार बढ़ाने में उत्साहित है, इसके ऊपर भी बहुत अच्छी चर्चा हुई है। मुझे लगता है कि जिस प्रकार का उत्साह फ्रांस में देखने को मिला, जिस प्रकार का उत्साह यहाँ की कंपनियों ने भारत में निवेश करने के लिए दिखाया, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो तेज गति से फ्रांस और भारत के बीच संबंध बढ़ रहे हैं और जिस प्रकार से आज प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के कार्य को, गत 9 वर्षों के कार्य को यहाँ की कंपनीज ने देखा है, भारत में बदलाव महसूस किया है, जो नई व्यवस्थाएं वहां पे देखने को मिली हैं, उससे काफी संभावनाएं खुल जाती हैं भारत और फ्रांस के बीच व्यापार, निवेश और टेक्नोलॉजी, पर्यटन, चारों विषयों के अंदर। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने लगभग हर एक मिशन को विश्व भर में प्रोत्साहित किया था कि वो इन विषयों के ऊपर भी अधिक ध्यान दें। उनकी परफॉर्मेंस, उनका जो काम है, उसके अलग अलग पहलू हैं, उसमें ये भी पहलू पे भारत की सरकार जोर देना चाहती है। और मैं समझता हूं कि फ्रांस की हमारी मिशन ने एम्बेसडर जावेद अशरफ जी के नेतृत्व में बेहतरीन काम किया है भारत और फ्रांस के बीच संबंध सुधारने में। जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की इच्छा थी उसको पूरा करने में, और ऐसा ही उत्साह लगभग पूरे विश्व में सभी मिशंस में आज के दिन देखने को मिलता है। धन्यवाद। चालू रखो ना, उनको भी लेने तो उनको कुछ उसमें यूज करने के। तुम्हें प्रॉब्लम है? तुम्हें प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो चलो ना, आप भी रिकॉर्ड कर लो। अगर क्वेश्चन आंसर कुछ आपके काम है तो आप भी ले लो, हमें क्या दिक्कत है।
Sir, the IMF has today reduced the growth projection to 5.9%, the first international agency to bring it below 6 for this year. You met a lot of investors today. How is the perception in terms of the demand situation in India? Are there, and given what is happening in Europe and the US, do you sense that there'd be a slow, they would be going slow in terms of fresh investment plans?
I did not get that feeling in my engagement with industry. Irrespective of what agencies may be projecting as potential growth rates, the reality is that India is today a large market of 1.4 billion people. 140 crore aspirational young Indians looking for a better quality of life is by itself a huge domestic market. Also, our own share of world trade is relatively small, despite the massive growth over the last 2 years, from $500 billion to today nearly $765 billion plus in 2 years' time, is a record of sorts. And therefore, I think that India is gradually moving more and more into a export-led, manufacturing-led economy. Our services sector is rapidly becoming the trusted partner of the world. And in this situation, I would think that there's a very bright future ahead of us.
So this year, the FDI numbers indicate some sort of a slowdown. What do you think would be the reasons, and what is being done to kind of ensure that it picks up?
I think largely the FDI number has reduced in the startup ecosystem, some of which were valuations which were developed during COVID, and in the post-COVID world, we see that there has been a softening of some of those valuations. I would also believe that a lot of the pent-up investment that came into the country last year may not have continued into the next year, and therefore we need not draw up our plans for the long term based on 1 year. the interest in India continues to be very large, and my feeling is that we'll see a huge inflow of investments, particularly in the post G20 period, where a lot of business persons are coming to India and are completely taken aback when they see the transformational changes that have happened under Prime Minister Modi's leadership in the last decade.
So there are early indications or early projections that monsoon may be a little weaker this time. How does it augur for our overall, the food production situation, both in terms of wheat as well as paddy? And how is the procurement started, the initial feedback that you're getting for this season?
Well, our paddy procurement has been well on target, and we've built up sufficient stocks so that there's no concern at all on rice for the current year, and we still have a second season where we'll get additional stocks coming in. In terms of wheat, it's been slightly delayed because of the unseasonal rains, but we sent our teams out across most of the states. There have been minor luster loss or
Moisture.
some amount of moisture, but that is not detrimental to our procurement. And I have been receiving reports that in the next few weeks, we'll be seeing significant amount of stocks coming in. There's absolutely no concern about the procurement in the current year, particularly since export of wheat continues to be restricted and will not be allowed except for the G2G relationships.
And in terms of the overall food price situation, you see it remaining?
Well, I think India has done an honorable job. Yes. Our inflation, food inflation, has been well under control. On the contrary, there have been products where I have been required to intervene so that farmers could get a better price, like we intervened for the onion farmers so that they could get a good price for their produce. I must pay my salutations to our farmers, our annadatas, for the wonderful work they are doing to ensure food security in India at affordable prices.
Is there any plan to review this wheat export ban this season in the near future?
No such plans at the moment.
And sugar also?
Sugar also, we have already given out the quotas for 6 million tons, and there are no plans to increase that at present.
So regarding this exports, have we received the final numbers for?
By the 15th, we'll receive the final number for merchandise exports. Initial numbers were at about $447 billion for merchandise. May go up a little bit as the final numbers trickle in from the EOUs and SEZs, and the final numbers get collated. On services, the final number will come about 3 weeks from now for the month of March. But the numbers up to February are extremely, extremely good. And we are looking at a number anywhere between $320 to $325 billion of services exports in the year gone by, collectively, not only being an all-time record for the second time in a row, but demonstrating growth both in goods and in services, and simultaneously also giving almost $100 billion growth overall in exports, whereas the rest of the world has been very, very soft. India would be showing more than 12 or 13% growth.
Sir, on FTAs, did the companies that you meet, because they have, did that issue come up?
Well, everybody is very excited. I had very good conversations with the Honorable Minister. We have full support from the French government, and they are very keen that we should progress on all fronts for a comprehensive free trade agreement, market access issues, investment protection agreement, the GI agreement. So it's a very holistic economic engagement that we are working towards. The companies also see tremendous opportunities and believe that they will get more comfort with FTA or a comprehensive partnership in place as they firm up their investment plans in India.
But don't you think issues like recent imposition of carbon tax, and I think EU is working on some more laws regarding sustainability will...
All of these issues are on the table. and we'll certainly bring all these issues into discussion. But the important point is also that India is at the forefront of engaging with sustainability, of building up a better ecosystem, improving our own carbon footprint. So in some sense, we are already doing much more than what the world ever expected India to.
Are we analyzing this carbon tax impact on our particularly metal sector
Yes, sir.
export?
And also because we flagged it as a non-trade issue at the WTO.
I think it's too early because there's no clear indication of how this is going to operate. There's not yet any clarity on the modalities, the transition period, and all of these are up for discussion. Once we get more clarity and we are able to come to a negotiating table, we'll certainly be able to find solutions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.